damn fragile. I was looking at life through a fog. I lost my baby girl and they killed my dog. I was laying on the bottom feeling sad, thinking when I began this battle, my soul was so damn fragile. I was looking at life through a fog. I lost my baby girl and they killed my dog. I was laying on the bottom feeling sad, thinking about doing bad things, raging fucking mad. I couldn't understand why I was chosen. Then it led to my raging explosion. I am the one who can make this better. It's my job to make things right. I need to pick myself up. It's time for my biggest fight. Wrap your kids in the Bible. Wrap your kids in the flag. CPS is from the devil. Y'all know that it's a fact. I'm a father that went to jail. I cherish my daughter. It was nothing when they come for her and me. There should have been a slaughter. Stand with us. Make parenting great again. Abolish CPS. Ambush with the black SUVs. They come armed, they came for me, and they came for her. Stand with us, make parenting great again, abolish CPS. They took her from me, she's across the state. Gone for a year now, taken away. All these people who have written me off, I'm here to show my face and tell you you're wrong. I never was as good as you, and for the record we know that's not true. I'm not trying for a comparison. How dare you, you're embarrassing. I don't wanna be as good as anyone else. I fight this battle, I fight for myself. I am the one who can make this better. It's my job to make things right. I need to pick myself up. It's time for my biggest fight. I don't care about your judgment, I'm glad you gave us this test. But when your life is over, will your heart sleep quietly in your chest? I've got more life to live. As a matter of fact, it's just beginning. I've been given a challenge and my daughter is waiting. It's a fight I can't walk away from, a new life we are creating. So why you sit there mouth full of hating? Be sure my mind is planning on invading. I've got a war to fight and I'm on. I won't give up, I need to win, this is bigger than you. I don't expect you to understand. I am the one who can start over. It's my job to make things right. I need to pick myself up. It's time for the biggest fight. I won't be left behind. This is the time, I call it mine. Step out of the way unless you wanna play Trump, stand with us. Make parenting great again, abolish CPS. There is no time for bickering. The clock's a flickering. Pick up your weapon and join me. If not, go back to ignoring me. I will be on top, pistol going pop, pop. Money falling from my pockets. You'll still be lying on dockets, so fuck you.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to stop CPS, and abolishcpus.com is leading the way. Join us.
What's up, everybody? This is CPS Punisher. This is Tuesday night, and we are CPS victims hunting for justice. I am your host. As always, we have the chat right here to the right. Pamela, how are you this evening? Looks like we have Jonathan in there. Brenda's here, but Brenda's also in here with us. So let's use these chats to get some things figured out and talked about and get some things done. And let's have a good night of talking CPS victims justice. Listen, this is what I was thinking about. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff either. Last night, I was sitting there and I was kind of feeling bummed out, and I was kind of feeling like, oh, woe is me. Not really woe is me, but I was like, you know what? Who's going to be where? Are we making any waves? But damn yeah, we're making waves. Hell yeah, we're making waves. We are freaking making big enough waves that people are listening, and we owe you guys that. Thank you so much for all you guys that are listening and watching us out here. This is very important that you guys continue to make the waves, because you guys sending in letters and putting in your making notice to yourselves, that's what gets us to notice. You know what? We don't need to sit around and wait for somebody to assist us in this. We need to be the ones we need to be the ones that are doing the moving forward in this fight. We need to be the ones that are pressing our foots forward and making this thing happen. So I need to get out of the mentality of stopping and waiting for someone else to come and guide us and wait for us. We need to be that. We need to be that people, and those people that are going to step forward and move forward and make this movement go the way that it needs to go. That's all of us in here. That's all of us watching it. That's all I'm saying, guys, is it's time. We all need to be together. And that's it. That's what we got to do. So I'm asking all of you to join me in that fight. We need to figure it out and what we're going to do. So that's the next move. But yeah, we need to be the movement. All right. And we're going to be that movement. So let's get Brenda out here. Brenda's back here.
Brenda's back. Once more. Yeah, I was looking at what Jonathan was saying about his laptop being hacked.
Brenda looks so like. Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
because I'm on my phone.
I have a computer issue myself right now. That's why I went out and in. It's like something else has complete control of my system here.
That's right. I'm having trouble hearing you on the phone.
What's
Maybe
going on
I
with you,
on my laptop. No, I was looking at what Jonathan is saying, and it's true. It says that they're hacking into our phones, they're hacking into our computers, and like I was telling Darren before the show started, I mean, they're hacking into our lives, because I mean, what are these like people knocking on our door? Not only Darren, when I was talking about when we were in Maine, and this was during I think it was Obama's first administration, first time he was in there, and it's like my God, I had Secret Service calling me, and a creepy invite to go meet the Secret Service somewhere. He said he was going to help me meet Obama. I said I don't want to meet Obama, but maybe my husband would. And he's like, no, I just wanted to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, well, I got let him know. I said, well, why don't we meet up at the news station up there in Bangor, and I'm sure they would be interested in what's going on. And I called up the news station later. I said, did this guy ever show up? They said no. But then I had U.S. Marshals knocking on my door as well when we lived over there. That was like we lived in Milford. My middle son, he was going to pre-med at the college, and yeah, he started, another thing he started noticing, like he'd walk up to the little city bus or whatever it was, and then take him to the college, and noticed like cops were like following him very slowly in their car, like it was very obvious that they were following and watching him. And that was the other thing I think about, is when Chris had an emergency, my husband, and like his blood pressure dropped really low or something like this. The ambulance came, and we're trying to figure out whether that deputy was there too. But at the time, you know, of course, we weren't thinking about it, but we're just thinking about it.
I'm having some issues right now with my volume. I can't hear a word you're saying to me. If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Oh, really?
Hear a word you're saying.
Maybe I can switch over to my laptop. I can do that.
Here they are. Showing exactly what you've been saying.
All right, I'm going to switch over to my laptop.
Here.
All right.
Oh,
Here.
my goodness sakes.
I'll,
Hey, Brenda, can you think that you can talk about this something for a minute? Nope, she's gone. All right. Brenda is gone. All right. I cannot hear anything. That's crazy. Let me see what I got here. What I got in the kitty here. I could play something, you guys, so I can do a restart or something here. I don't know what I can do. Let me take a look here what I can do. I'm sorry, guys. They're doing this on purpose. I know they are. I know that this is being done to us on purpose. This is crazy. Let me see if I can look in this and see if let's see if this works. I'm gonna play this video, see if I can hear this.
I'm just your average parent trying to do right by my kids. Never thought I'd have to, deal with something like this. It was a regular Tuesday afternoon. The kids' toys were scattered everywhere. Then there was a knock at the door. My heart sank when I saw who it was.
Hello, I'm from Child Protective Services. We've received a report and need to inspect your home.
I didn't know what to do. They wanted to come in, look around, talk to my kids. My hands were shaking. I felt like I was doing something wrong even though I knew I wasn't. But then, I remembered something I'd read online about knowing your rights. I took a deep breath and said, I'm sorry, but unless you have a warrant, I can't let you in. The CPS worker looked surprised. They weren't used to parents knowing their rights. It wasn't easy, but I stood my ground. I protected my family's privacy that day. Remember, when CPS knocks, know your rights. It could make all the
That's my little
difference.
cartoon there. Know your rights. So on May 18th, we have this thing coming up. Hey, Brenda, can you take the reins for just a moment here? I'm going to step out and I'm going to go hide and see if I can come back in and
all
I
right.
can be heard. Okay. So I will be right back. You talk about what you got to talk
Can
about,
y'all
and I'll be
hear
right
me?
back.
Okay. Okay, so I didn't know what was going on with Darren's sound, but I could hear everything okay. I don't know if you guys heard what I was saying, but if anybody wants to write a message, how is the volume of you're checking out here? I was going to try to, I switched it up. I put myself on the laptop so it might be able to come through. Hey, did anybody see that, how Roger Green was having that, town meeting and somebody got tased? That's kind of interesting. People were shouting out things like, okay, and stuff like that. I think there was a couple of people who were removed from there. But, in any case, she says, like, if you're going to protest is outside. But, I mean, I wish we could, like, get some people's attention. People that can make that difference. I mean, where are our leaders in this time of need? I mean, if you're like me, many years I've been calling the White House, I've been calling senators, congressmen, these different judiciary committees. I mean, the list goes on and on of where we try to get help and where we've tried to. And I've even called these places before my children got taken, and I think that led to the abduction of my children. I really do. They don't want these people asking too many questions. They don't want to. So, that's pretty bad. If we see something that we think maybe we can give some advice to maybe promote this country a better way, because people are ending up destroying this very civilization that we're living in if we don't notice. I mean, geez, please. I mean, anybody, I think God sent some signs. I really do. Like everything with the, I think all I can say is I think it goes a lot better than free. So along with the parents, they're also mostly imprisoned. I mean, it's kidnapping. It's kidnapping, slavery. I mean, we had older kids that were taken. You know, I talked to a lot of parents that their children were taken just like 19. It's very disgusting. Why in the world? Who in the world, like person, say there's a person that can't have kids, and they're really a nice couple that really want to do, share their love and their wealth or whatever with my children or people. Like, do you think there are people for teenagers? No, they want to do good. So they're saying, oh, just easy enough. Kids were adopted out to strangers. That's hard to believe. It's hard to believe because a lot of these kids are being thrown in these institutions, or they're probably at empty schools and stuff like that. What did they say? That children all over the place don't work for them. I mean, maybe these are some of the children that belong to us. They can't find a place for them. Why don't you send them back home? That would be great. Especially if they're into young adults. Because they have something definitely want to connect me up with my children now that they're young.
All right.
There's some sick stuff going on as well. I just watched something with Law and Crime or something. So disgusting. These officers got some type of call, I think, that was something going on in this house that was nearby them. Nearby the neighbors gave them all whatever was going on there. He literally had this autistic kid in a cage. It was a built-in cage in the living room where this kid was with. I want the gate open. And the parents were trying to say this was somehow helping this kid because he acts out violently or something. And I mean, literally the kid had no clothes on. I was like, what in the world? Are just like amazing to me. The kids, they were arrested. And it's just like I'm getting too many stories one after the other with children being harmed. I can't even fathom how terrible it's been getting,
Do you think that's on purpose that we're hearing all these stories?
Excuse me?
Do you think they're doing that on purpose, letting us hear all these stories so that nobody questions whether what's going on with Child Protective Services?
I know it's weird that this Law and Crime, I've been finding all this stuff here like first. Like I don't know if I subscribe to this channel or something, but it keeps coming up. And then again, a lot of these stories that are coming out, it's almost like they're always blaming the parents, not the Child Protective Services, not the people that should have been checking up on these families and stuff like that. There's shifting the blame. Yeah, just like the judges will probably shift the blame to CPS when actually the judges are in control of what Child Protective Services is doing. So it has to be a judge's order if they're knocking on your door, right? If they're grabbing up your kids, the judge had to order that, I would gather, unless, not. I'm sure there's cases where they don't. They just pretty much, it's like a wild game. They could just do whatever they want, and it just seems like they haven't been stopped. That's why I'm wondering, should we start again, do a mass of everybody calling, wherever you are, call your leaders and say, hey, we're part of this movement, man. We're parents and we're tired, we're sick and tired, and we can't live like this anymore. This is like sure torture for us and our children, and I just don't know. It's just like something's got to give, is what I'm thinking. There's got to be some good somewhere, somehow, that is going to happen.
in the coming weeks. Let's hope. It's just like yeah, like I say, it's just so much. It's just my problem is that it's not getting out there that, hey, a lot of these kids, like, okay, for instance, there's another shooting in Texas, right, at the school. Okay, so somebody put in the chat that I was in saying 70% of these children that act out violently in these schools are victims of Child Protective Services. So there you go. I mean, I always thought it in my head and never looked up the statistics, but I thought, sure enough, I mean, I used to keep track of all that, but now that I'm about, out of my mind, a lot of times I don't check up on some of this stuff, but that's what's happening. I mean, and then I hear Trump talking about that he's not only be putting these gang members into this that one prison, but he says they're talking about these homegrown terrorists, and I'm thinking to myself, whoa, what if these homegrown terrorists happen to be, foster kids that were, abused, and this is what they've become? Because if they were with their family, it seems like most of them wouldn't have become this, But when they're taken away from their security, anything goes, right? Anything goes. I don't know. What do you think, Darren?
Well, here's the thing. Why don't we spend less time on punishing people, more time on rehabbing people? I'm reading this article right now. See, just here at the beginning of it. It says, every year, more than 2,000 children in the U.S. die of maltreatment. And in most of these cases, the child's family is known to child welfare or law enforcement before the fatal incidents. Most Americans agree that the main goal of child welfare systems should be to prevent these tragedies. First of all, is that what the goal is when you think of CPS? Is that what you think of? Is it their goal is to stop the tragedies from the children dying? Is that the first thing that you think of when you say the word CPS?
Not at all. It's like the last thing, right?
Right. Like, that's not even, and even if it wasn't that I hated CPS already, but that's like, I don't automatically assume that when CPS is called, like you're beating your child. But yet this states that does. It says, by closing the gaps that lead to children being left in custody of guardians who abuse and neglect them. Balancing the safety and well-being of children with the rights of parents is no easy feat. A nationally representative poll conducted last year by Bipartisan Policy Center shows that the public is sensitive to this tension. A majority, 58%, favored parents' authority to raise their children as they see fit over the government's authority to intervene. But nearly the same percentage of respondents, 57%, did not believe that the child welfare system is engaged in the government overreach. And well-being of children with the rights of parents. So that's a problem. Alarmingly, a small group of increasingly vocal activists are trying to upset this balance by pushing a radical policy agenda that would all but eliminate the government's role in child protection. Not only is this agenda wholly incongruous with the broader American public's view regarding the appropriate scope of child welfare system, it also undermines the well-being of at-risk children across the country. Illustrative of this broader push to weaken, if not wholly abolish, the child welfare system is a recent report issued by the New York Advisory Committee to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, examining New York child welfare system and its impact on the Black children and families. One of the co-authors of this brief, Rafael Manguel, resigned from NYSAC in April after serving nearly 4 years in the committee, ahead of its final vote to approve its report on child welfare. Wow. So there's some stuff going on in here, huh?
Oh, man.
Linda?
Yeah, it's true. I was just thinking, like, it's going to take, like, these U.S. attorneys, I say these federal U.S. attorneys in each state, in your region, wherever you happen to be, is that we got to get this stuff to them. And hopefully we can find some new blood in there, some new attorney generals that are over, this state, and then we can come to them, tell them that we want the enforcement of 18 USC 242 and 241, because these dependency judges are guilty, and these court-appointed attorneys. I mean, how many of you had these court-appointed attorneys that just steered you in the wrong direction, or just actually didn't do a darn thing? I know mine, like halfway through it, I could tell she just gave up. She's like, oh, that's the direction they're going? They're going for terminating your rights? It's like, man, that was it. She just she knew what was happening. I don't think they had any control over it was a thing. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah. So listen to this. The NYSAC report offers a litany of policy recommendations that would make it more difficult for child abuse and neglect to be reported and investigated. The report calls for a new paradigm of child welfare that de-emphasizes reporting, investigating, surveillance, and family separation, and it recommends that federal, state, and local government offices and agencies enact legislation, policies, and practices prohibiting the conflation of the consequences of poverty, including parental pregnancy, substance use, with child maltreatment, emphasis added. The report also calls for federal law to be amended to eliminate or severely restrict mandatory and anonymous reporting of suspected child abuse or neglect, make it easier for convicted felons to become foster parents, revise the definition of neglect to exclude parental drug abuse, including while pregnant, and for New York state law to be amended to prohibit routine drug screenings of pregnant women and newborns, establish a universal basic income. Now, have you ever heard that we need to do this to make it easier for convicted felons to be a foster parent?
That is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard coming out. Oh my God. Really? I've never heard anything like this. Anybody else? Wow.
And then it should not listen. The guidelines of taking your children for abuse and neglect, they already don't consume the words of substance abuse, because the Supreme Court has ruled that substance abuse by itself is not indicative of removing a child. It doesn't make you a bad parent. It has nothing that's reflective of your parenting skills and what's going on with your child. So that's not a far cry from anything. That's what the Supreme Court, the law of the land, people, has already determined. Now, if they find you out there beating your kid and something else is going on with that, then yes, that becomes an issue. But if substance abuse is the only thing that they're coming after you for, no bueno. You don't get it. So it doesn't need to be a new rule. And no one's trying to get these extra things. The Supreme Court, the law of the land, has already determined and said substance abuse by itself is not a reason to call abuse and neglect. So, what are these people talking about? They're trying to make this
it's over a little bit of weed. So,
right.
Yeah. And why are they offering these substance abuse classes as well? Like, did that work out for anyone? It didn't work out for us.
Right. It says NYSAC's proposals are ultimately premised on three false claims about the child welfare system. What is often termed child neglect is often consequences of poverty, which cannot justify traditional child welfare interventions. True. Parental drug abuse is an inadequate reason for intervention. True. Racial disparities in child welfare enforcement in New York prove that the system is characterized by unlawful discrimination, particularly against Black families. All of these are true. So why are these ultimately premised on three false claims about the child welfare system? Those are all true statements proven by fact and supreme law of the land. The issue brief provides an overview of the child welfare system's central role in responding to each of these three claims and the highlights that dangers invited by the recommendations made in the NYSAC report. And then it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. You guys can check this out at the Manhattan Institute. I'll put the link up here in the chat for you guys so you can all see this. This is really a disturbing article.
Yeah, it is. It is. Because, lawyers, these court-appointed lawyers collect like $30 billion each year under Title for unconstitutional confinement of 400,000 children. Can you imagine in foster?
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, these judges and lawyers are guilty of federal crimes under 18 USC 242, deprivation of civil rights under the color of law. You know.
Yeah.
So, like I say, that's what we have to do. We have to bring this to the attention of the people that can say, hey, they're going to look at this and say, what? And we got to hope that these aren't people that are part of the corruption, like what is it? It's like I know I looked up who my U.S. What did they say? Federal, like just Google it. Federal U.S. Attorney General for whatever your county is, okay? And it will tell you, because Florida split up into like 3 different regions. I know that. But the lady that was appointed by Trump, I think back in January, is for the region where I am. I know Naylor is in that same region. And it said that she was doing some work on trafficking. So hopefully, as I say, I want to knock on her door with some of this stuff, and I'm going to take some of the parents' stuff with me, I think. And just say, this is how many people we got in Florida. I think everybody should do it wherever they are, and just like pick a day and everybody blast them at the same time, you know?
Right. That's what I say. We all come up with one idea, one event, and we just blast it all across the country same time.
Mm-hmm.
We overrun them with idea. You know, we overrun them.
It was just like, contact these AGs beforehand. Like, what is your protocol? Can I come down there? Do I have to have an appointment? Can we do this through email? Do you want to do this through a video call? Like, what do you want? How do you want to handle this? Because, hey, we have a movement going on, and we want due process. We are parents that want due process. And this is the year we're going to get it, guys. I have a feeling, man. 2025 is going to be it, because
it can be, but we need to keep the pressure on. You know, we got to keep this pressure on them.
Yeah, don't give up. Don't slow down.
We can't give up. We can't let people think that, oh well, it's over. Because I understand that people are definitely weak and feeble right now with this. You know, been fighting this for quite some time. But we need you all in this right now. We need every mouth, every body, every person rallying up, you know, like wearing 1776 gear, or of course our gear that we'll have out here really quickly. You know, like we need to really start pushing this thing forward and forming we need to form a committee. We need a committee here at CPS Victims Hunting Justice. An event committee. We need a committee that's here to form some action steps so that we can all go out and we can start putting together some action steps that we can start taking to make this stuff start going forward. Don't you agree?
Yeah. So who's good at event planning? Y'all gotta have to help us out, because Brenda's getting too old for some of this stuff. In fact, I think I'm going cross-eyed because I'm trying to look up at the chat. I swear to God, sometimes my who knows? But I mean, it's just like, I understand how you can just slack off though, because like every day becomes a challenge, you know, to try to get the task that you have planned to get done, to get them done. So like I say, we all need each other. We all need each other in this, and if anybody or everybody can just contribute something a little bit, I mean, it's gonna help out a lot. I mean, even if it's trying to find out some other people that live close to you that have been through victims of CPS and been through these corrupt dependency courts.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I know on May 18th,
go ahead.
We're doing a seminar. May 18th, Tiff and I are doing a seminar on your constitutional rights. So everybody write that date down in your calendar. May 18th. I'm not sure of the time yet, but we'll be instructing, of course, on your constitutional rights and so on and so forth. How to use them, how to implement them, what that means to you. So you guys should definitely check that out. Put that one down, pencil it in for I mean, it won't be early in the morning, so you don't have to worry about that. But who knows? We don't know of a time yet. So, yeah, we'll go from there. We'll let you guys all know about that. But it's definitely on May 18th.
Okay, May
So-
18th. That's my oldest son's birthday. Hello.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. He's going to be 41. Can you imagine this? I have a 41-year-old son.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that. I thought you were only 41, Brenda.
Looks are deceiving. No, I'm. Geez, I'm 59. I'm 59. I had him when I was like 18. So, yeah.
Wow. 59 you are?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Okay.
You
are old.
Yeah, it's gonna be this big 6-0.
About time to put you out on the iceberg.
What?
About time to put you out on the iceberg, right? Ship you off to the ocean?
I tell you, I've been ready. Oh my God.
No, but I'm serious. I want to form a committee on some action steps that we need to start as this organization, CPS Breaking News and CPS Victims Hunting Justice, in a combination with all of our groups. I want to form a committee that is an action step committee that we need to meet up like once a week and figure out what the hell we can do to make this thing move forward faster and be what's the word I'm looking for?
Proactive.
More, we can be real. We can really do this. Make action steps happen. Not just talking anymore.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. Even if we can, like I was telling Darren, I've got a bunch of numbers that I think would be helpful to who we're trying to get our attention to. We can all call these numbers. Like maybe do like a freaking group call, man. We'll get everybody together and we'll say, okay, I got some numbers to the White House guys, okay? And I got a whole group of parents with me here. I'm not alone, because sometimes if you do this stuff alone, you're not going to look so great. It's not going to fly very much. Like, the attitude or towards you, if you never knew how CPS and these dependency courts are harming families, you might be like Darren says, I was with him. I always thought that Child Protective Services was when they come in and a child was really being abused and they were trying to help the family. So, and little did we know that we would be victims. I'm like, I never in 1,000 years would think that I would be a victim of something like this after being such a successful parent, and we started out really young. That's why I'm glad we got that. I'm glad those guys are safe. The 3 oldest are safe at least. But there you go. I moved south. It just seems like everything, all the poop hit the fan when I moved south. But it really first happened when we were in Maine, though, and that's where my 2 youngest were born, in Maine. I can tell you, when my daughter was born, okay, Sage, she was born in 2003. And when I had her, the nice little hospital they had in Machias, Maine, they gave me a car seat when I was leaving. They had this nice program that they'll give you sign up for and you get a free car seat when you leave the hospital. I'm like, well, that's great. So when I had my son 2 years later, when he was born in 2025, and I thought maybe they had the same program, and all I had was a 1 car seat still for Sage. I didn't have one to take the baby home in, because, if my daughter was there. So I think we had to do a whole thing because my daughter was there when my husband came to pick me up with the baby and everything like that. Then my husband, like any man would do, I'm like, hey, can you bring the baby's outfit? We're going to take her home. I've got the outfit in the bag. Please bring it with you. And he forgot it. So I'm asking the nurse, I said, do you think I could borrow these like little t-shirt that the baby had on? My husband forgot to bring the outfit. So we were home a couple of days, and they did give me a car seat to use to take the baby home. So Sage would also have a car seat. But in any case, just to borrow. They didn't do that program anymore. But the lady's knocking on our door saying, we got a report from Child Protective Services that you didn't have clothes for your children or a car seat. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. So I'm saying, and then I explained the situation like I just told you guys. We did have these things. I didn't know I was going to need to purchase an extra car seat because I thought I was going to get one. And yeah, the lady's knocking on our door in Maine. I was like, okay. So that was the first time I could say, and I guess I didn't think too much of it. It's like that. After that, I can show you, we were about to move because right after my son, Chrissy, was born in 2005, we were trying to sell that house anyway, and we were going to head to Vermont because my daughter was going through medical school in Vermont. I think she was starting her residency at that time. So we went, we already had planned to go live with her in Vermont. So yeah, maybe that's what saved us from Child Protective Services coming back when we were in Maine. Who knows? It's possible. So what else is going on? We're getting, Jonathan's really going at it in the chat here. Foster care in Canada emerged in the late 19th century with the establishment of the first Children's Aid Society in Toronto in 1891. Founding of the first CAS in 1891, the late 1800s marked a turning point to the development of child welfare efforts with the founding of the Toronto Children's Aid Society in 1891 by the group of citizens. You know, over here, it's like, I don't know if Darren ever heard of this, but you ever hear about Children's Home Society? Okay, so I don't know what their role is in this, but as far as I understand it, they just provide a place where you can go visit your children, because that's what it was for us. They make these houses to look like a real homey home, usually with paper over the windows, and yeah, and you go there and visit your kids, and if they want to tape you and record every visit, they'll do that as well. So that's what's happening with the Children's Home Society. And I think some of them people are actually, there was good people that I met that was managing the place when we went there. But oddly enough, like I tried to, she was going to testify on our behalf at the TPR hearing, and somehow, like, anybody that we wanted to testify on our behalf wasn't, our attorneys advised that nobody do that for us. I'm like, I just don't understand. What is this advice? We have nobody to speak on our behalf, because I know my son was ready to do it. My sister's ready to come down there, everybody. But, you know, nothing. We got nothing. Oh, man. It's really something else that they can get away with that, you know. Oh, where was I going with this, Darren? I have no idea. Oh, yeah, with the Children's Society.
Yeah.
But the lady, so the lady that was there, like, I'm trying to get a hold of her years later, and like, nobody knows where she is. Like, I see, it's weird that the good ones seem to disappear off the face of the earth, you know, when you're looking back and seeing, you know, what's going on. I know you guys, if you ever dealt with Devereaux, ever look at any of your paperwork and see that, they'll try to hide the fact that they're Devereaux. They'll go under names like Partnership for Strong Families. You know what I say about that? It's Partnership for Destroying Families. And again, I'd say let's look at these Department of Justice programs that they like this juvenile justice system. What's going on with that? Because I mean, the more they take the children from us, the more the children are going to get into all kinds of trouble. They're going to be prisoners themselves. So
that's their plan.
Yep, it's all about the money when it comes to tearing your family apart. That's why I say if I was ever get a divorce or anything like that, I tell you I wouldn't want to go in front of a judge to do that. I mean, you should be able to figure out your problems yourself instead of a judge making these decisions where your child's going to go. Why don't you guys do it on your own? I don't know. I never had to deal with something like that because I've been with the same husband. So I know a lot of people are also victims of CPS that were married and divorced, though. Now, how does that happen? I mean, is it usually that they end up with one or the other? I don't know, Darren. What usually happens with that? Because I know, was that Obsidian comes on and talks about stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about how those things take place, or that's not my
Yeah,
that's not my area. I know Obsidian is. Oh, look at this. I know Obsidian looks at that stuff, and he'd probably be the one to ask, because I don't want to misquote any of that. But
from what I've heard, it's always like it seems like the child or children end up going to the abusive parent.
it's always the abusive parent. Correct. It's always the abusive parent.
So why are they choosing? Yeah, why are they choosing?
Like they know that they'll get them back. They'll be back in the system.
Exactly.
One will pay child support, and the other one will be, abusive and allow them back into the system.
Right.
I'm trying to look here and see if
Dr. Death says I sent you and Tiff an email over the weekend.
I'm looking in here right now and seeing
from Google AI. Jonathan's getting his information from Google AI.
Dr. Death, they do not have that. The email address is TIFFNPUNISHER. So TiffNPunisher at Gmail. But no, I do not have an email from you, buddy. I apologize. But we have no emails from you here.
Hi, doctor. Is there a doctor in the house? No. Tammy's saying hi, doctor. I don't see anybody as a doctor here.
Who's the doctor?
Okay, so Jonathan's saying founding of the first CAS in 1891 in the late 1800s marked a turning point. Did I already read that? Oh yeah, the Children's Host Society. Okay, I'm kind of mixed up on the messages. Child and human trafficking, Jonathan, you know it. Making this a liberal crime. Yeah, it's just like, well, it's kidnapping. You're taking someone against their will, a child against their will. That's kidnapping. So why aren't they being charged with it?
Right.
I mean, these crimes could. I'm telling you, these crimes could put a judge in prison for life. Okay, this is what I've heard from an attorney that seems to know. She's been in dependency law for a long time, and there's so many people, so many attorneys that don't want to get involved with this type of stuff. It's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're afraid of losing their careers. The whole thing is sad. The whole entire damn thing is sad that people are too afraid to have the balls to go ahead and, attack these people. And that's why I want to come up with an action committee. And I want to start doing some action steps because, you know what? We can't be scared of this shit.
That's right.
We gotta either lead, move, or get the fuck out of the way. And I'm putting up leading. Let's lead this shit. Let's do this stuff, and let's get this stuff done. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Whatever it takes. I mean, we're not the ones that are breaking the law here, right? We're just trying to point out that these laws are being broken and children are being harmed. Do you think anybody would want to know about this?
Yeah, majority of, right? They should all be educated, and we need to work on it, making sure that we educate everybody.
But do you think it might be their fault? Like if, say, our leaders, you have these individuals that are picking up the phone or whatever, or grabbing the mail when it comes in. How do we know if it's actually ever getting to the people we want? Like, all these, when you send a letter to the president, what's your chances of him being able to see that? I mean, it seems to me it'd be pretty slim. I mean,
Right.
how do we, let's just say we got to figure out what's giving the attention. Not these crazy people that are down there in the freaking, what did I want to say? Down there in DC that are holding up all these horrific signs about Trump and Elon Musk. It's just sickening. Like, don't you have, like, oh, I can tell you, what was it? Oh, and do you know that that all the people apparently that were burning up the Telsas were from the LGBT community? So
Oh,
what happened to those peaceful and lovable? I mean, I can tell you when people are just like gay straight up, nicest people I ever met in my life. So what's going on with this other stuff? It's just really gotten so out of hand. I mean, to think some people that think, name calling and calling your president, these horrible names. What is that going to get you? Where's that going to get you? I mean, why not talk about the children that are being abused? Why not that?
No, because there isn't too many of them. That's why we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
Not the numbers that they're making it out. Like 8 million complaints last year. 8 million. And of those 8 million, they get like what, 300 or 400,000 that are like viable complaints. And then however many out of that is going to the child care system. And then you multiply that by, so many kids in each year because only so many get out. They're lying like the devil on the child support, on any of those child statistics. They're all being lied about. Even if it's up to 10, it's still fraud. It's still illegal, and that's that. And people should be able to go and use like our setup, for instance, and use that against them. That's it. That's what we got to do. We all got to be looking like we're a machine, a well-oiled machine. That's what we got to do.
Yeah, because they're also like the children that have delays are taken away. Then right away they're throwing them on Social Security, so now they're making even more money. And so that's what they're looking into all this Social Security fraud. I say they should look into people that are receiving it in foster care. I heard somebody saying something, I can't remember what it was today, but they're talking about Social Security and they brought up foster. Like, okay, I'm like, wow. Yeah. So we don't want them getting more money, because the more money they get from Social Security, the more they're going to want to take our children and the children that have delays. It's so sick that the greed and the disgusting. Oh my God! I'm just, like I said, seeing that I don't know why I watch those things, but when I seen that child locked up in a cage and all he was asking for is to get out, I'm like, how horrible can somebody be? Then I seen something else that was even horrible, that some neighbors called on this mother. I don't know what the deal was, but I heard them mentioning CPS and everything when the cops came to the door. But she was making money, collecting money on a son's name that she claimed that she didn't even have this son at all. And come to find out, they must have did the deed because he was lifeless inside a garbage can when he was found. So yeah, you believe that that somebody would do this to a child just to get this money going, just to have this money? Wow, it's sick. It's sick. So they keep. That's why I don't know. It's so scary though, because I know, like from my Charlotte County case, when I found my daughter like in these deplorable conditions, and then I go to try to get her safe to where she needs, and then I get arrested, thrown in prison. I didn't understand it because what's going on with my daughter, I still don't know from this day. But here I'm looking at my discoveries, and the foster lady that, by the way, is not even from this country, she's a Haitian. Who knows if she was even there legally? I have no idea. But they're throwing the children into different cultures as well. My daughter or me couldn't understand this lady. You couldn't understand what she was saying. But I could see on the paperwork that she was not only had a full-time job, her adult son had a full-time job. She was collecting money for fostering two children. Or wait a minute, she adopted one of them, and my daughter was the foster one. So it's getting money on that, and then the two children, my daughter and one other girl that had really bad delays. She was getting Social Security on both of them. So what is this lady doing with all this money? Is what I'm thinking.
Right.
I mean, getting money from all different directions. Somehow that was not enough for her. She wants, well, I don't know. It's just disgusting. It's like my story goes on and on. There's no end. I'm trying to like see if I can get it down in a short version to just say, hey, look at this. I mean, that's what I was thinking. Somebody told me today is just all they want to know. Okay. All they want to know. And I think it would be a good idea is like when you were in that dependency courtroom, what was said to you, like by your court attorney? What were you told? How did you feel? Like what was your feeling? Like what was your feeling inside? Did you feel like, you just feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like I am in a bizarro world or something like what impact did it have on you? Or start off with like, this is how wonderful my life was. This is what happened in court. And now this is what I've become. So, yeah. I mean, how do you make that short? I'm not good at making things short, guys. It's true. I'll go on and on. Darren, what's your email address for the show? I tried. Okay, the email for the show, Dr. Death, is CPSV, V as in Victor, huntingjustice@gmail.com. It's rolling right along the bottom of the screen if you notice in the green. I'm starting to learn that. In fact, I've been posting stuff and putting CPSV Hunting Justice. I don't know if you've seen my post lately, but I put out one trying to get back into doing that because I was discouraged off doing that as well. I mean, if we can get some recognition on TikTok or anything like that, that's a good way to get our messages out. If somebody's good at that, that would be helpful to what Darren's talking about. Is like hit them from every angle that we possibly can. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to know some, some media that would, talk more about this. Like you say, sometimes it takes just like some place, little local place that might, local news agency that might run with your story. Who knows? I haven't been able to find any around Dixie County, Florida, or in Florida altogether for that matter. It's just like, whoa, they're trying to wipe us off on the face of the wipe us off the face of the earth. And I swear to God, I'm not going to let that happen because I really feel that way when it comes to our case. It's like, because even if you looked up, if you typed in my husband's name, Christopher Cambron, what will come up? It will come up something in 2016 when he was running for sheriff and was arrested for a little bit of weed. You won't say that he's been sentenced to 15 years because he made a cartoon about that depicted a character of a judge that this judge felt threatened by, that initially was responsible for taking my children, and then she believes she's got to look over her shoulder all her life because of us. No, I don't think so. I think she's looking over her shoulder because of what she did and what she's afraid. It's not gonna be us. It's going to be Dr. Death. It's going to be Dr. Death, not us. I can say God's going to take care of it. I mean, all I got to do is, say my prayers and know that God will prevail in the end. I tell you, because I know that it's like with the floods going on, it's like Sodom and Gomorrah all over the country with the floods and the fires and the hurricanes and everything else. I mean, gosh, I saw the sign. I opened up my eyes. I saw the sign. Right, everybody? Come on. But like I say, guys, you know, we got to make light of it. Have a little fun in the process. I mean, it can't always be doom and gloom. You got to keep yourself mentally fit as well as physically fit because, like I say, it takes a lot. It drains all of you. You got to eat right. Try to do it. I'm having trouble with that. You got to eat right. Even if you could just walk a little bit every day. I've got a row machine back here. My son gave me. That's great. You know, just do something to keep out, even if it's just stretching out or something. Because I mean, we can't end up being couch potatoes and just watching life go by without our kids. Okay, we got to do everything we can for them because they're counting on you. Should we get on to last words?
Let's do it.
It's the time. All right,
Let's do
guys.
it, Brenda.
We had a lot of people in the chat. I really appreciate it, and I'm so glad you guys can join us tonight.
Why don't you start them up then, Brenda? You can lead them, and I'll follow you out.
All right. So, again, if anybody wants to get a hold of me about trying to get, like I say, we want to do what Darren's saying, but we also want to see if we got to get anybody on board. If something's happening within a week or so, email me at brendacambron91@gmail.com because we have a real easy fillable form that you can put your information in about your case, and we're going to get together with Danielle on this one, and we're going to see what we can do as far as once we have all this. We've got about 9-10 people now. Who's going to get this? Like, who's going to get this, and what are the chances that somebody's going to see this? And that's what everybody's saying. The more the merrier. Let's do it. Okay. Don't sit back anymore. Get a hold of me. Get a hold of Karen. Whatever we got to do. We got to get this together, guys. Time is of the essence. All right.
All right. Thanks. That's good stuff, Brenda. All right, guys. Listen up. This fight is just beginning, so don't get discouraged. Don't give up. Don't quit. Do like Brenda said. Look for things that you can do. Start making action steps. Help us out with signing up, and let's make a committee here, or an action step committee, so that we can start really focusing on doing some things that make an impact, because I'm tired of sitting around and talking, and I know a lot of you are too. So that being said, I'm the CPS Punisher. We are out of here. We'll catch you all tomorrow night, same time, same place.
Let's go. World getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. Waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming, cue for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigating, penetrating the values of our country, and our God is what they desecrate. Our fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on the streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour, troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, chosen just neglected, deflected by some breaking news. Oh, we just accept it, expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objectives, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take this on the cheap. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. We need you now. One day, one day, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God,